Are you interested in growing your business? Would you like to know the secret for getting more yeses? Well, that's exactly the reason for presenting this information to you. I'm Dr. Nancy Zare.
And I'm Christine Beers.
And we want to acknowledge each of you for taking time to attend this webinar, which is the first in a three-part series. We hope you're in a quiet place where you won't be disturbed, have the worksheets in front of you so that you can take notes. We invite you to fasten your seatbelts because we plan to have fun and learn something too.
Woohoo!
Our objective during this series is to introduce you to an easy system for identifying your prospect's personality style and learn exactly what to say to earn their business. At the end of today's session, we've got some bonus material about the 4 essential questions for developing rapport, so be sure to stay tuned for the full time period. As we get started, let's take a quick moment to introduce ourselves.
So, Dr. Nancy Zare is the owner of Rapport Builders International. She's a communications consultant and expert, a retired professor from Springfield College. She earned her master's and doctorate from Boston College. Her passion is helping people overcome their frustration and getting their point across while successfully connecting with their clients and contacts.
And let me introduce to you Christine Burse, who is the owner of The Goal Whisperer. Hi, Christine. She is a business coach who focuses on helping her clients find their purpose, set goals, and achieve them. After running a successful international virtual assistance company for over 5 years, she found she was more drawn to helping her clients with finding their passions rather than in typing their proposal. Now that she's aligned with her purpose, she's helping others do the same. We, the combination of Christine and Nancy, afford you a unique opportunity of receiving input from 2 great coaches through one channel. So now let's move into the main material of this webinar, which is an introduction of a system that will enable you to have confidence every time you meet a prospect. Robert Kiyosaki, you may recognize him as the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad and the Cash Flow Quadrant, said the ability to sell is the #1 skill in business. If you cannot sell, don't bother thinking about becoming a business owner. Now, these are strong words, and perhaps you may feel a bit intimidated by the prospect of selling yourself. I know I did. However, selling is a learned skill, and both Christine and I are here to simplify what to do and how to do it. The dictionary defines selling as the act of promoting or influencing. And from that definition, each of us was born selling. As soon as we opened our mouths and we wailed our first message of, "I'm hungry, feed me," we began our sales career. Well, at the time, our parents did their best to figure out what that communication meant and satisfy our needs. Most children are incredibly persistent. As young people, we quickly learned that adults differed in how they could be influenced, and we changed our vocalizations accordingly. Wailing no longer got us what we wanted. And since we were very smart, most of us learned to speak the language of our prospect. However, this initial lesson has been lost over time, and many of us have gotten stuck in only one way of presenting. This is the way we want people to talk to us. This is the way we make buying decisions. And we mistakenly conclude that other people process information in the same way we do. This is a big mistake that business owners make. You see, there are 4 different ways of processing information and making buying decisions. This idea has been a long-standing truth, and it dates back to the era of Hippocrates. You may be familiar with the 4 personality types, or temperaments, humors I think he called them, and many systems have evolved, and you may have taken such personality tests as DISC, Myers-Briggs, Kersey temperament, quadrants, their animals, shapes, colors, I mean, you name it. However, the system we're going to introduce today is a favorite because its name is very memorable. It's sexy. It sizzles. It's called BANK. Now, as business owners, all of us want to earn more money and take it to the
bank.
You're right, Christine. So, bank is going to be an easy-to-remember acronym. It stands for 4 personality types: B for blueprint, A for action, N for nurturing, and K for knowledge. Notice that even the names of the personality types have already given you a strong idea of what that person is like, who is called blueprint, action, nurturing, or knowledge. Christine, what comes to mind when I say blueprint?
Well, I think of an image or a drawing that gives detailed instructions on how something should be built.
Absolutely right. So let me give you the main values and characteristics of a blueprint personality. I've chosen these 3. They're driven to fulfill their duty and take responsibility very seriously. So when they make an appointment, say for 1 o'clock, Christine, they arrive an hour, even 15 minutes, 30 minutes ahead of time, just to make sure that they are on time. That's how strongly they honor and respect their obligations. Now, blueprints follow a plan. They prefer everything be organized and that there is a sequential movement of action, steps that they can perform. They feel in control and comfortable when there's a system in place and a process to follow. And lastly, blueprints are anxious to keep stability in their world. They hate uncertainty, which is why they come across as control freaks, eager to keep everything in order. Now, having described blueprints, can you think of someone whose personality type is dominated by these characteristics? You see, blueprints make great managers because they like to implement systems and make sure things are just so. By the way, that clerk that you had an interaction with earlier this week who wouldn't budge on your request and kept saying, "I'm just following the rules," this is a great example of a blueprint personality. A more famous one is George Washington, whose sense of duty and responsibility gave this fledgling nation a strong foundation for success. So now, Christine, let's switch to action. And what comes to mind when I give you the word action?
Well, I think, don't talk about it, just do it.
Woo, perfect. Yes, in fact, that's Nike's theme song, right? Just do it. So here are the main things about the action personality. Their main driving force is that they love freedom. They cannot stand working for a boss. So unlike the blueprints who follow rules and stay in the box, these people are outside the box. And they struggle to work for somebody. That's why a lot of entrepreneurs have a good deal of action in them. They set their own rules, march to their own music. They're spontaneous, flexible, even impulsive, and they have a little bit of ADD because they're always in action. They're highly competitive, and for them, winning is everything. They appreciate the recognition that comes from being center stage, and they like celebrity treatment. They desire the good things in life, and they go after them with zeal. And the last thing I want to mention about personality types whose action is their first name is that they love to have fun. They like to joke around, and they're very personable, even charismatic. Christine, when you see a flock of people surrounding someone, chances are that that middle person is the action personality type. Yep. Now, action types are people who are drawn to being celebrities, entertainers, performers, athletes, musicians, and of course, they're great salespeople. They like being in the limelight, and Ronald Reagan is probably a really well-known action type. Certainly, he was an actor, then president, and very charismatic. So, we're moving now to the third type in bank, N for nurturing. Christine, what do you think nurturing stands for?
Someone who's compassionate and likes to put the needs of others before their own.
Ooh, excellent. So again, let me summarize 3 main characteristics of nurturers. Their number 1 value is that they want to serve others, just as you said. And unlike action people who thrive being center stage, nurturers are behind the stage. They are supportive people, and they don't like drawing attention to themselves. They easily champion causes, and thus they're very charitable with their time. These are authentic people. They love to relate heart to heart. They can be very trusting, even gullible and naive, as long as they uphold morality and what's right. They seek to create harmony between people, and they love for people to get along. They like being a part of a team and being involved in a worthy cause. Now, because of their desire to serve others and support causes, you'll find many nurturers drawn to the helping professions, ministry, or nonprofit work. Oprah Winfrey is a sterling example of a nurturing type. On her TV show, she demonstrated her love of people as well as her commitment to ethical and charitable work. Well, Christine, the K in bank stands for knowledge. And what comes to mind with that word knowledge?
Well, I can relate to this one. Needs to always be learning something new.
Ooh, terrific, because learning is the #1 value for knowledge types. They are sponges, and they like to absorb all the information they can about a particular topic. While the action types will go very broad with their interests, knowledge types take a deep plunge. This enables them to develop competency, which they admire, and to become an expert, which they highly esteem. Knowledge types are very logical. They tend, as a result, to be a bit unemotional, maybe a little reserved and standoffish, because they don't like small talk. Remember, they like depth of information. Yet they appreciate all sorts of things to learn, and they paint a big picture. They have a remarkable ability to invent and create and feel right at home at a technology store or research lab. I'm sure you've met knowledge types when buying electronics, and Einstein is probably a great example of a very in-depth knowledge personality type. So, Christine, having been introduced to the bank personality system, I'm sure you're thinking, as our audience, what is your particular bank code? Are you the blueprint dominant or an action dominant, nurturing, or the knowledge? Is that your first type? Now, it's important to realize that we have all 4 types within us, just in different order and different proportions. One is always dominant, and one is basically underused. So, when I work with clients, it's certainly fun to think about what their type is, but the real value of knowing personality codes is being able to figure out your prospect's code and shift effortlessly into their way of thinking, speaking, and acting. Just like when you were a toddler and a child so that you could get your way with your caretakers, it's important that you think about what they want, what's going to turn them on, and help them make a buying decision. It's a real confidence booster to know exactly what to say to build rapport and develop relationships with each and every personality type. Quickly, let me share a story with you, Christine, about one of my clients. His prospect hung up the phone the first time he called, which, as you can imagine, was very discouraging. Yet, once he figured out the person's type, she became a repeat customer and generated over $12,000 in revenue last month alone. Not bad for learning personality typing, is it?
Excellent.
So, Christine, how do you work with your clients?
Well, first I find out what the client wants to be able to use this information for that we're teaching, and then I coach them through role-playing and examples into using this new skill. And the more practice someone gets, the more natural it becomes. And like you said before, Nancy, knowing the information without being able to use it on the fly isn't very effective.
Very true. So how does each bank personality type make a buying decision? Let's quickly return to blueprints. Remember, they like control and certainty, so you need to provide details and give them a system and reduce the risk. So, for example, offer them a guarantee. Now, action types, remember, they are very much into the sizzle, so sell the excitement. Get to the bottom line because they're quick decision makers and impulsive buyers. And by the way, treat them with red carpet because they love the status. Now, switching to nurturers, they are into causes, remember, serving others. So you want to even appeal to the sense of maybe some of what the sale is going to support a charity. So much the better. Not only will they enjoy working with you, but they'll also give you their loyalty and affection. By the way, give them a lot of positive strokes and be very genuine because authenticity is their #1 value. Now, finally, with the knowledge type, you really can't sell them. In fact, Christine, you really can't sell anyone. No one likes to be sold, but everyone truly likes to buy. With knowledge types, they have to think it over. Now, the skill in working with them is to present lots of information, especially scientific proof if it's available, and ask the right questions that will lead them logically to conclude, hey, I want to do business with you. So knowing these 4 personality types is a good beginning. Obviously, we've just begun to scratch the surface. How do you work better and more effectively with them? We promised you an irresistible offer, and for those of you who want fast results, who yearn to have confidence, who want to know what to say to make a presentation and ask for the sale, Christine and I will answer these questions in sessions 2 and 3 of the Take Aim series. It's a great opportunity for you to learn a system quickly and thoroughly that you can use the rest of your life. Clients have told us how it's enabled them to double their income even in as short as a month just by knowing how to identify personality codes and talk those language. If you've ever had the experience of saying something and seeing the other person's eyes glaze over, look away, or their voice trail off, you know that the relationship is in jeopardy. With Take Aim, you'll know exactly what to say to build rapport, keep rapport, nourish and develop the relationship, close the sale, and ask for repeat business. In the remaining 2 sessions, you're going to learn what each personality type prefers to wear, colors of their clothing, style, shoes, accessory, how they greet people, how you can scan a room and determine the dominant personality code. Think of how secure you'll feel when you go to a networking event, and without asking or answering a single question, you'll know exactly what's going on in that person's mind. In addition, we'll discuss the vocal qualities of each type, how you can sense from their tone, sentence structure, how they prefer to make buying decisions, how you can match them and develop rapport quickly and authentically. You'll also learn how to apply it in networking events and phone calls. And along the way, you'll receive coaching on getting some goals and putting this into operation, and then reporting back and receiving feedback from both Christine and me. Yes, in the next 2 sessions, you're going to develop competence and confidence in this newfound ability and skill to decode personality types. And in less than a month, you're going to become aware of people's personality styles and how you can increase and speed up your likability and trust factor. After all, people do business with people they know, like, and trust. Take Aim will be provided in a teleconference call where you'll be able to ask questions and receive information and support so you can move forward. These 2 sessions will be separated by 14 days, which will give you enough time to put into practice these new skills and then receive feedback from Christine and me on how to implement various situations. Each session will be recorded, and you'll have access to these recordings as well. In addition, you'll receive a downloadable workbook that gives detailed information about each of the 4 types. You'll know what they like and dislike, their values, buying considerations. And of course, you can refer to this workbook again and again as a quick reminder about each type and how to present to them. No longer will you have to guess whether you said the right thing to a prospect. You're going to know you've connected each and every time. Boy, what a feeling, what a relief. So your investment in Take Aim is usually $297. However, as a participant in this webinar, we have special pricing, which is good for the next 7 days. Instead of $297, Christine, it's just $197.
Wow, Nancy, that's like saving $100.
Yeah. And how can they sign up?
Well, first of all, let me just run through the benefits real quickly again. So with this second and third session, you're going to have the confidence to identify the different personality types, poise and knowing what to say, and then clarity about working your business. The format is going to be 2 one-hour sessions. These are live teleconference calls with both Nancy and myself. You get a workbook, so you'll have to refer to whenever you are trying to learn this system on your own. And you'll also get the recordings that you can listen to in MP3 format. And again, as Nancy says, the investment is normally $297, but because we know how interested you are in this program and learning all about the bank system, our special price for you is $197, which is like a 33% savings. And all you have to do is click the link underneath this video saying, yep, I'm ready to go, and you can sign up. So, are you ready to take aim? You know what to do.
Perfect.
And
finally,
Nancy, oh, I'm sorry, Nancy, sorry to interrupt. You did say you had some bonus things for us.
I was just getting to it, absolutely what was on my mind. These are the 4 questions that are guaranteed to develop rapport with your clients. For the blueprints, you want to ask, is everything in order? Now, you can use variations, but that's the key. Make sure you say, is everything in order? For action types, isn't this exciting? Woohoo! Oh, yes! And you're thinking to yourself, if you're not an action person, well, wait, that's all fluff. There's no substance. But that's the action character. And nurturers, you want to say, does this feel right? Because it's all about connecting from the heart. And finally, with knowledge personality types, does this make sense? So we want to thank you for taking time to attend this webinar, which is the first in a 3-part course. We've presented a proven system that will enable you to develop rapport with every prospect, get more yeses, serve people authentically, and become a master in personality decoding. Make the decision and take aim now.
Thank you, everybody. So glad you were able to present to you on this very valuable information for anybody who owns a business.
Great.